Back in October 2009, in my former career, I found out that a ton of us were going to be laid off. And, it was a unionized job, so they gave us 60 days to say, hey, these are your options, figure it out. A lot of guys were just really upset. And I was just like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I've been at this job for 5 years. I've heard historically they've never had to lay off people. And I remember the date, it was December 19th. That was my last day. It was a week before Christmas. And that was the first time I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have a plan B if I didn't have this. I had my own apartment. I had my oldest son, which I guess he was, like 5 back then. I was paying for daycare. I took care of all the bills. So that was probably the first time where I had to figure something out, because I never thought that would happen. And it was really challenging because it didn't make sense. I was just like, this is a great company. Why are they letting go all these people? I remember not going out to eat. I remember waiting on money from my tax refund. I remember looking at my savings account. I remember figuring out how long I could survive without a job off of the income that I had saved. And eventually I had to deal with the full reality, of where we lived. We had a 3-bedroom apartment. It was just 2 of us, things like that. So it made me kind of reevaluate, what was happening. And then eventually I started applying for more jobs. And then, at a certain point it became discouraging because you feel like all the experience you've gained. And I remember weekly having to submit that you've applied to X amount of jobs just to receive unemployment. And I remember looking at the fact that the unemployment was nothing near the income. So then it becomes a race. Well, can I get a job before, I really can't afford to live where I live, or I have to reach out to family to help. There was kind of like a ramp up, like you're unemployed. And then there's well, here's the full reality. And back then I think maybe I just only wanted to face some of the, the no-brainers, but not the full reality of it. So a lot happened, and it was about 3 or 4 months before I got a really solid interview anywhere. And then that was just an interview. It wasn't like a job offer. People that don't know you, they don't know your character. They're just looking at a resume. They don't know your optimism. They don't know your positivity. And when you're in line with maybe dozens of people applying for the same job, it's like you can easily be looked over. There was this point in time where my son's grandma, she started to bring me groceries, and I didn't realize that she understood, the reality more than I did. The people around me understood it more than I did.